Hello everyone. I'm here to tell you about a bizarre Pokemon game that I once got my hands on. It's quite an odd story, but please bear with me and listen up. A while back I was given a copy of Pokemon Leaf Green by a friend. She said that she had tried out the game, but got bored of it very quickly. I could see just how quickly she got bored with it, as she only had 3 minutes of gameplay. She called her character Leaf. I guess this is because the game's title is Leaf Green. I want to play a new game, but firstly, I want to see if she even bothered to leave Town and activate the event where Oak takes you to the lab and gives you a Pokemon. I started up her file to find that the player was laying in her bedroom, except the bed is in the middle of the room, and everything else in the room is missing, except the bed and the TV. The left side of the room is a dark color, and the other side of the room is a lighter color. Also, the area's name is Emptiness, and not Town. What also caught my attention is that there was no music playing. Perhaps this is why she gave up on the game, because of the weird changes to the overworld. Before leaving the bed, I hit the start button, which opens up the menu. It turns out she did in fact have a Pokemon, so I checked exactly what Pokemon starter she had chosen. To my surprise, she actually had a level 10 Eevee named Loneliness. I know Eevee is an impossible starter, but what actually caught my attention was that the E was missing from the word loneliness. Instead, it was spelled L-O-N-L-I-N-E-S-S. Maybe she didn't know how to spell loneliness. I guessed this to be the case because she wasn't a very good speller anyway. On a closer inspection of the sprite, the Eevee appeared to be sad, instead of having the happy smile on its face. Its nature was lonely, and its attacks were as follows: Tackle, Screech, Grudge, and Nightmare. I left the bed and made my way over to the TV. I pressed the A button to see if it would work, and it did. The text said, "You are not wanted here." Well, isn't that nice? Since I can't do anything in this room, I exited downstairs, and just like the upstairs, the only thing in the room was a TV. Except this time, the tiles on the floor spelt out the word "Go." I check the TV down here, and the text says, "Don't leave me." Well, I have no choice but to leave the room, since there was nothing to do in this boring place. So, I exit south to the awaiting Town. I leave the house, and instead of being in Town, I am in some large, foggy place. The surrounding grass is colored red, and the house that I left is cut in half, with only the bottom part showing. There are gates surrounding the path, which prevent me from exiting, and the music that is playing is the music from the abandoned mansion. The only way I see to go is a path heading east. Before heading down that path, I notice that there is a signpost. I walk up to the signpost and hit the A button, revealing the text as V-E-E. Here, I notice that there is a path going south, except I can't reach it because the gate prevents me from walking to it. I go back to the eastern path and walk it for what seems to be 8 seconds, when an NPC scrolls in. He appears to be standing on the gate, and his body is purely white, with a gaping mouth and blood trailing from his eyes. A very spooky sight, if I might say so myself. I am able to interact with the NPC, and he asks, "Can't you do better?" Is he taunting me? Well, regardless, I continue down the path. The surrounding grass turns to black, but the red path is still there. I walk towards the end of the path, where there is a small door. Walking into the door, I'm taken off to a different map. I appear to be in a small, school-like house with no blackboard, but a small desk with a book on it. I walk up to the desk and check the book. He was so alone. His sorrow-filled eyes made me so unhealthy, so hurt. I wanted to help him, so I did. I have no clue who the author behind the book would be, but I shrugged it off. Another one of those white NPCs was standing beside the desk, so I walked up to him and spoke to him. He was so kind. His smile, his laugh, is what it said. Leaving the house, I am taken back to the previous map, except this time, I am on the path that was heading south, which I could not reach before. I walk south down the path to find that there were some letters faded in the left side of the gate, with 5 white NPCs on the other side. The letters appeared to spell out the word friend, with a question mark under the 5 NPCs. Friend is what it says. Someone is questioning if someone else was a friend. As I continue, the red grass changes to the pitch black again. There is also a large body of water, with green grass surrounding it. I walked my overworld sprite around the water and down the path. There was a door at the end of the path, and on either side of the gates there were 2 letters. By the looks of things, an N and an O. I puzzled together the overworld text. Friend? No. So, this person or Pokemon wasn't a friend to someone else. After exiting through the door, I found myself in a very confined space, with yet another white NPC standing at the end of this small room. When I spoke to him, he said, "Why wasn't he? Well, see for yourself." By this point, I was getting greatly attached to the game and was desperate to find the end of it. I exited south, and I'm taken down to the Pokemon Tower. There's a single path which I can follow, except I can't go outside of the barrier of gravestones. There are 3 white NPCs scattered around the outside of the gravestone barriers, and there is one on the path which I can speak to, but he only says ... Towards the end of the path, I find an NPC who isn't one of those white NPCs, but he is the rival blue. He is stood in front of a golden gravestone, and he is facing me. When spoken to him, he says, "No, don't believe the ghosts. Run away before they can get you." I was sort of confused. I was trying to puzzle together this odd story, but right now, I wanted to find out what would happen next. I exit the Pokemon Tower, and I'm in Lavendertown. The music changes to Lavendertown theme, and the town has little changes in it. It's raining, and the routes going north, south, and west are blocked by wooden gates. I explored the town to find 3 more of those NPCs. Let's call them ghosts, since that's what Blue addressed them as. One of them was on the outside of the gate. I am unable to reach him. One is stood beside the Pokemon Center, and another is stood behind the main house in Lavendertown. The one beside the Pokemon Center says, "Oh, but we are having so much fun. Do you really want to deny us?" And the one beside the house says, "Are you still going to believe that kid who betrayed loneliness?" That's it. I got it. Blue abandoned Eevee and named it Loneliness. But why? The only way to find out was to continue with this game. I entered the house beside that ghost to find a lot of stuff is missing. There is a lass and a bug catcher sat at the table. I approach the girl and she says, This is frightening. I want to get out of this nightmare." I walk over to the bug catcher and he says, "The ghost can't get in here. I wonder why." But wait, there is a third NPC in the house. Facing the window, it's the male protagonist, Red. "Leaf, you're okay." No, you're not. Run now. You have to discover the truth." And with that, I leave the house just as Red had commanded. The next overworld map is the Pokemon Fan Club in Vermilion City, except the people are missing and there is a fog. May I also mention that the Lavendertown theme continues to play. I walk deeper into the house to find a ghost is stood beside a kind of glitchy patch of blocks. The ghost says, "Right this way, not like you have a choice." How very true. I walk into the bundle of blocks, but nothing happens and I appear trapped. I then tried walking back south when I am teleported off to the Pewter City gym with no one there but Brock. The fog is still in effect as I walk up to Brock and speak with him. "Truth," he says demandingly as I am thrown into a battle with him. At last, lively music. Brock has only 3 Pokemon, each at level 2. He sends out his first one, which is a Bulbasaur, named Ghosts, as I send out my Eevee, Loneliness. I easily KO his Bulbasaur with a tackle as he switches into a Charmander, named Tricked. The process repeats itself and he switches into his final Pokemon, which is a Squirtle named Him. While knocking out the last Pokemon, I notice that together they say, "Ghosts tricked him." With that, I win the battle and Brock scrolls in, saying, "Continue," handing me the Boulder Badge. Brock's text ends with a bundle of exclamation points, and we are taken back to the overworld. Leaf received TM39 from Brock. Ghosts tricked him. Ghost tricked him. He is waiting. "Be gone, be gone," Brock says. I exit the gym and I am taken to the gate, which leads up to Victory Road. There are no edits here at all, and I am able to pass through the gate due to having the Boulder Badge. The next map has me exiting out of a house in Fuchsia City, which is placed on a path that leads you to the cycling road. I notice the text in the top corner, which says, "You will perish." The city seems to be glitched and wrecked. It is raining and no music is playing. Heading down the eastern path, I see 2 ghosts. The one closest to the house I exited says, "Take an air while you can." The one next to him says, "Your time is almost up." The path continues eastward, and I can't go north due to some glitched blocks blocking the way. I keep walking eastward towards the city gate, only to find that it is blocked by 3 uninterchangeable signs and a ghost. The ghost says, "When you find out the truth, you shall join loneliness forever, and you shall experience our being." I explore around the remote city to find that Blue is standing in the southeast part of the city. When I approach him, he says, "Leaf, I abandoned Eevee after my Raticate died, but the ghost tricked me into it." Ah, so that's why Blue abandoned Eevee. The ghosts told him to. I continue with the story, going through the only door in the town that will work, which is the house that I entered from. Entering the house, I am taken off to the Pokemon Tower. I am trapped in a single 1-block space surrounded by gravestones, with 3 ghosts stood around me. From this point onward, there is truly nothing to do. I'm switching the game off. If somehow I get around this glitch, I'll let you know.